Alright, so we've printed out all the news shit, and we've had some camera issues because of a new memory card, and Magic Lantern hacks that don't want to work with it. So, yep. Fun stuff, but it's time to start an episode. It doesn't really matter what issues I'm having, because the podcast is what's important.
Yeah, not the recording. Not the video. It's important to a select few, we'll say.
Okay. So I'm going to go into audition here. And then we're going to get started. There we go. There's the news. It's out of order, so we'll figure it out. Alright. Le mouse. Okay, can you see me on that?
Yeah.
Okay. Do I look good?
You look okay. Yeah, it's standard def, so.
Okay.
You don't look quite as bad as you would in HD.
Oh.
We'll say.
This is on, but it's... Oh. Hello?
Hello?
Okay, you ready for a test?
Oh, God.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, man. Test it.
Probably. Put on the headphones. Oh, I don't even have a third person here. It's just an engineer.
God damn it.
If you pay us $1,000 a month, we can hire a... Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, guys, so hit up the Patreon.
Someday we'll send you a mug.
Yeah. Sorry. Working on it.
Okay.
Copyright. Yeah. It's our image. Just looks exactly the same.
Okay, so 15. Okay, so there's a new trailer. Gold Saucer will be bringing, so that's 14. 15. 15. That's 15. That's also 15. That's 15. 15. You okay there, Caleb? You know you're on camera, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Trying to see if I could fit the whole thing in my mouth.
Okay, so this is the Developer Awards.
Probably not the best thing to put in my mouth. The thing in between the mic and my mouth all the time.
So that's 14 right there. So that and that go together.
Man, why didn't you just put XV or XIV? Why you gotta do these fucking lines?
Okay. So what do you think? 15 is the most important?
Yeah.
Okay, well, so we'll save that.
I also think
we'll start with Sakaguchi.
They should have energy drinks in bigger containers.
Yeah.
This isn't enough.
Ooh!
Just do a slow-mo zoom into that.
Alright, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it my intro?
I have no idea.
Sure. Do you want to go?
I don't care.
Okay. Well, who did it on mine? Do you remember? Oh man, I'm running out of ink. It sucks.
It's been so long.
It's been 2 weeks. I guess it's been a little while.
Yeah.
We can't remember who introed the last time, so go ahead, Caleb. You'll do it.
Welcome to another episode of Ultima Final Fantasy, the ultimate Final Fantasy podcast. I am your host, Caleb Schweiss.
And I am your other host, Joseph de Gaulier.
And today we will be briefly talking about Necron, the final boss from Final Fantasy IX.
Right, we've delved into the Wikipedia page
Yeah.
on Necron, and we're gonna show you what Caleb found, at least.
Yeah. what little we could find. But in the meantime, we have a lot of shit to catch up on.
Yeah, that's true. We do. We're going to have a couple segments this show. Also, you'll be noticing that the audio quality on this episode is different than what we had on our Final Fantasy IX review. If you saw the behind the scenes on Final Fantasy IX, that 20-minute video that we had up, you would have seen that we were trying out a new mic configuration. Honestly, there was just a lot of noise in the line, and then when I edited the video, I did it through 2 different audio programs, so it was to the point where I really couldn't clean it up that well, and it sounded a lot better in my headphones than it did when it was finally exported into an MP3. So, I'm just working on the sound quality.
Yeah.
Sorry about a large amount of background noise in that Final Fantasy IX episode.
Yeah. One of the nice things about the item we were using, the little recording device, is the mobility of it. So hopefully we'll be able to use that in the future for events or stuff like that we'll go to.
Yeah.
Where it's like, yeah, the sound quality is kind of crappy, but suck it up kind of a thing. Not an every week deal, but we'll work on it.
Anyway, yeah, I apologize for that as far as the Final Fantasy IX episode goes.
I forgive you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you forgive me.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
Alright, did we get some iTunes reviews, Caleb?
Yeah.
To catch up on?
Yeah,
where are they?
They are under
that pile of paper?
Yeah, under the gigantic pile of ketchup. Not the ketchup sauce, of course.
Catch up.
Catch. Yes.
There you go. Alright. So we got one here from the UK. And they say, best FF podcast around. You know how many stars they gave us?
Tell me it's 5.
It's 5.
Yes!
Okay. This is on February 4th, so I feel like we could have read this one, but we might have missed it, so I'm going to say it anyway. 5-star podcast. I'm already fucking up. 5-star podcast made from people who really care about everything Final Fantasy related. When reviewing each game, they don't just give a quick overview, they explain everything in great detail, great banter between the hosts and guests, updated weekly, and news and side stories. They really put an effort into this podcast and it shows.
Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think we might have read that one, but thank you very much.
Yeah, we really liked it. So, there it is again. Alright, so we have another one here from February 2nd from the United States. It's titled Fantastic Final Fantasy Podcast from P. Distrusity, something.
Distrusity. This is another review we might have gone over. I know we didn't do the top 3 there, but I know we might have done that one.
I don't think they did. We
Go
did.
ahead. Go ahead.
A very entertaining retrospective of the Final Fantasy series. From the classic original all the way through the modern Final Fantasy games, the hosts replay these games and give an honest assessment of the stories and gameplay, and even go in-depth on some of the nuances of the storylines and theories of modern FF games, i.e. the Skull is Dead theory and the Renoa's Ultimacia theory. The hosts add wrinkles into their show that separates them from the other FF podcasts, including their own covers of music from the soundtracks. Eyes on Me, covered by Dave Mustaine, is simply brilliant. And dramatic readings of FF-related adult fanfiction. Listen to them laugh hysterically as they uncomfortably read some of these poorly written stories, quote-unquote. It's worth a listen alone. I highly suggest giving these guys a listen.
Thank you very much, P. Distrusity.
Yeah.
Distrusity. I was wondering why you were having trouble with that, but now I see it.
Yeah.
Okay. So this one is from Superfly TNT 6664. That one's an easy one.
Yeah,
All right.
It's a sweet name.
This is the final podcast, 5 stars. Ooh. I have been listening to this podcast for a few months now. It is without a doubt the only podcast of Final Fantasy I listen to. The best part of this podcast is when they talk about Final Fantasy. The worst part of this podcast is when they talk about Final Fantasy VIII. That's funny. I'm concerned, however, that they are skipping 10.2. What are you guys afraid of? Dress spheres? In order to have a true FF podcast when you're playing/reviewing in order, you have to address all the games no matter how terrible. I would recommend you listen if you are a fan, but if you're not, I would pass and listen to something more your style, like Codcast or HaloCast, as your game choices are, let's face it, questionable at best.
Man, a lot of opinion there.
We're not skipping 10.2.
No,
we're just not, when we're going in order of the games, we're doing main series games first.
Yeah, 10.2 will be one of the earlier spin-offs, sequels.
Yeah, we're doing sequels and then spin-offs.
Yeah, so we'll play it. We're just not going to play it right after 10.
Right.
We wouldn't do that to 10.
And yes, we are afraid of dress fears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, this is the Final Fantasy podcast. A 5-star review from Baindrum, who is a forum member as well.
Yeah, he's a newer forum member.
So, I've been listening for a few weeks now, sampling both the review episodes and the other episodes to give a fair and honest opinion. I really feel that the hosts are true fans of the series, and give it weekly discussion worth any fan's time, wholly entertaining and often very funny. The hosts are not snobby or cynical about the game series that has often recovered a good deal of flack. Instead, they seem like two friends who are spending some time each week just discussing a game series in a way that is relatable. I find myself laughing out loud, which is especially odd, considering I listen to this podcast at 6 a.m. at the gym on a stationary bike. If you're looking for a Final Fantasy podcast, look no further. Give this podcast a listen and you will not be disappointed.
You will not be disappointed.
Not disappointed. Join the forums as well. It is a small but welcome community, and your voice has a good chance of being heard.
It's true, because it is a small community.
Yeah, it's only like 40, including us.
Yeah, but it's nice. I like getting on there.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Baindrum. And this one is from Riyi1, or Rion. Not sure how to say that. Great job, 5 stars. And their one-word review, Caleb?
Awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
That was awesome.
That was very nice.
Alright, Caleb. I think we got some Final Fantasy 15 news to get to.
Yeah, I think so.
Alright. You ready to just go?
Yeah, let me
You want me to lead this, or?
I got it.
We got a tactic. We got Necron. We got questions.
For like 10 seconds.
Shut up.
Hey, I liked the idea until I looked it up at home and I was like,
Hey, Cody, could you shut that door? Cody?
This door?
Could you please shut our door? Never
I
mind.
got it.
Caleb's got it. You were standing already.
He comes, opens the door. What? Yeah, that's the last thing we fucking need.
Okay.
We are professionals over here.
I'll lead this one.
What?
Did you say you were getting a drink?
I already did. It's fair.
Okay. Well, you gotta lead the real thing, because I didn't even read the page, so... You have to educate me on Necron. You ready?
Yep.
Alright, so first up in news, really briefly, there is a new Final Fantasy Type 0 HD trailer, but that kind of has been happening like once a week for this for the last few months, it feels like.
Yeah.
So many Type 0 HD trailers, so
Yeah, I mean,
look it up if you're excited for it. And I am kind of excited for it. Unfortunately, we're not going to play it right when it comes out. You know, we've talked about this on the podcast previously. But I did pre-order it already, so...
Yeah, it's just going to be chilling there with its $100 price tag.
Yeah, that's true. I bought it for the demo, I'll be honest. I bought the collector's edition for the demo.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of sweet shit in the collector's edition, though.
Yeah.
I would recommend it. Don't know how to comment.
Alright, and also, we got some Final Fantasy 14 news here. We'll probably get through. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so that patch we were talking about with the gold saucer and everything from Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah.
Okay, that's coming out in 4 days or in 3 days because it's the 21st today, right?
Well.
Okay.
Today.
Today, when we're doing this podcast right now, it's the 21st.
Yes.
It's coming out on the 24th, that patch.
Mm-hmm.
And so you'll be able to get on the gold saucer, race some chocobos, and do triple triad on the 24th.
Nice. I wonder if they're going to put that super dunk.
I don't know. I wonder, too.
I could rock it again.
Like, that's not a thing that they would have news for, but it might be there. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just, like, sit on that thing all day. Spam the coins or whatever they have.
Alright, we also got... Sakaguchi received a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Game Developers Choice Awards. And here's what it says. This was an article online. Honors to the best games of 2014 will be the only thing handed out at the 15th annual CDCA Awards on Wednesday, March 4th in San Francisco, with Final Fantasy creator Hironobu Sakaguchi set to receive the Lifetime Achievement Award for his contributions to the world of gaming. So it's not... So it'll be on March 4th. Excuse me. Megan Scavio, general manager of all CDC events, talked about Sakaguchi. And here's what they say. Over his illustrious and thriving career, Sakaguchi-san has established some of the most successful entertainment franchises of all time, timed, I don't know where that came from, and helped cement the RPG genre in Japan and all around the world. But the gaming world owes an even greater debt to Sakaguchi-san and team for making a compelling game narrative as important to game development as its graphics and sound. Final Fantasy helped pave the way for game stories that dealt with death, regret, and character development in a mature and significant way, and we're proud to honor Sakaguchi-san as a true leader in the space and an inspired game developer. So that was a quote from them.
Nice.
For their lifetime achievement that they're going to give Sakaguchi.
That's
so, do you think he deserved it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think he does.
I completely agree. I mean, just his effect that he's had on the Final Fantasy series as we've been going through it. I mean, we initially gave him crap. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we were like, all the worst Final Fantasy games were directed by him. And yeah, 1 through 3, you know, he's a big deal on those, but they get better.
Yeah. Some of the best ones were directed by him, or at least he was a producer, executive producer.
And there was some footage released for Final Fantasy 15. This is probably the biggest piece of news. Oh no, wait. We got some 14 news real quick, don't we? I'll get to the 14 in a second. Okay, so we got one more piece of news after this. But there was a 40-minute section of the Final Fantasy 15 demo that was released with not Sakaguchi, but Hajime Tabata.
Mm-hmm.
He was talking about it. A few things came out of that. A few pieces of news. First off, Final Fantasy 15 is now 60% finished.
Oh, yes.
Our last quote was in September at 55%, so 60% finished.
At this rate, it'll be a few years.
Yeah, it'll be a couple years. All right. And as far as remember we talked about camping in Final Fantasy 15?
Yeah,
okay.
It's going to play an important role.
Right. So these are mostly from Kotaku, these quotes. But, so, you know, take them with a grain of salt.
No, take them with a salt lick like a horse.
Yeah.
Big old brick.
During camping, players will be able to have their party eat meals cooked by Ignis, the driver and chef of the group. Eating will give status buffs and other effects to aid in the party's travels.
That's cool.
Interesting. Alright, and what you may have noticed about the video, which was from the recent Active Time Report page 4.0 broadcast, is that it's somewhat choppy in places and seems to jitter, and this is their fucking word on this site here. It says jumper a bit. Jitter and jumper a bit. Yeah, I don't think they use that word correctly.
No, they fucked up.
Yeah. Well, the game's director, Hajime Tabata, has since mentioned that the demo built of the game will not reach 1080p and won't be running at 30 frames per second.
Incorrigible.
It's just too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as the finished product does.
Yeah, that's what they're aiming for in their finished product. You're right. So.
Well, they better hit it.
Yeah,
it's
they
not
better.
Like it's some crazy thing.
You will be able to save and load your progress in the demo of Final Fantasy 15.
Oh, sweet.
Episode.
Disca.
And let's see what else. I know they got. Okay. So. Sorry, I'm looking at our news here and seeing what's next. It's dead radio.
Why don't you just read them in order?
Because they're out of order.
Well, it doesn't matter. The order is
pissing me off.
what we want.
Okay.
You can order them however
I'll
you
just
wish.
edit that silence out. Behind the scenes, my brain, I'm having serious brain fog for some odd reason today. Okay. And lastly, about Final Fantasy 15, they're going to be getting some outside help on the development of the game.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, Square Enix announced at the Taipei Game Show over its weekend that it partnered up with XPEC, XPEC, which is a Taiwanese company that will help finish off developing Final Fantasy 15. Hajime Tabata said it was important to collaborate with XPEC. He described the game as a large-scale project, and it was necessary to have XPEC there to help them finish off its development. XPEC explained that it was an honor to work on a project like 15. They said that most of the staff are big fans of the Final Fantasy series, and XPEC is going to be responsible for working on the train station level that was revealed over the weekend. They couldn't show much footage, though, as they are heavily involved with the second half of the game. Yeah, so another company is being hired out to help on Final Fantasy 15. And our last piece of news is that during a live stream from the Tokagai Japan Game Party, producer and director Naoki Yoshida, so Yoshi P, it looked like he was teasing of a possible Xbox One version of Final Fantasy XIV. And they saw him holding up an Xbox One controller. And this is what this site says here. While of course the controller is compatible with the PC version of the game, it was never used during the demonstration, so there was no reason for it to be there. Additionally, Yoshi P has previously explained that while Square Enix was ready to work on an Xbox One version of the game, it would only do so once Microsoft allowed cross-platform gameplay. He even went so far as to mention the possibility of having servers with only Windows and Xbox One gamers. With Microsoft recently announcing cross-platform play, perhaps this is the sign that we will soon hear about Final Fantasy XIV's Xbox One release.
Yeah, what dickholes. They're like, we don't want to do cross-platform. We don't want to subject them to PlayStation Online. That's probably what it is. Which, yeah, I guess see where they're coming from a little bit, but it's like, why do they have to be such dicks?
I don't know. They're Microsoft.
Yeah, but that's totally gonna be on the Xbox One.
He's not very subtle about these kind of things.
Like the Dark Knight.
Yeah, the Dark Knight reveal that he gave us in Vegas.
Yeah, he was like pointing at his shirt. I was like, wow, that's... And I'm sure there was some news site that was probably like, oh, it was hinted that this and this was going to happen. It's like, no, it's going to happen.
It's not a hint.
Yeah, it's too blatant.
Well, I don't know. I wasn't there. I didn't see any video footage. But, you know, that's what they were saying. He was holding up an Xbox One controller.
Yeah, that's probably what it means.
Yeah, probably. All right, Caleb. We're going to learn about Necron today?
Yeah, let's learn about some Necron.
That was a rough news section for me. There's too much of me talking.
Oh, I told you we should break it up.
I know.
Split it.
I know. I'll cut that big giant pause at the end of the second, or the first part. You gonna teach me about Necron?
I'll teach you about death.
How are you gonna kill me?
I'm gonna kill you with death. Alright, so...
Hold on, I haven't gone yet.
Oh, okay.
You want to talk to the behind-the-scenes folk?
No, I don't want to talk to them.
No. Having some memory card issues, honestly. That's why you're so late in the behind-the-scenes. We started it earlier. Found out that the high-capacity, high-speed memory card that I had will still stop recordings. Not a big deal. I got it so that I could record raw video. But I still can't do that because of Magic Lantern. So, if anything, I just got a really high-capacity, high-speed memory card for just capacity, I guess.
And speed?
And speed. But the speed doesn't really matter because I wanted to record in RAW, but Magic Lantern doesn't look like it wants to boot from that specific memory card. And I saw on some forums that other people are having trouble with it, and like they were explaining some really weird ways of fixing that, and I didn't understand it.
You didn't have time to understand it.
I didn't have time to understand it because you're sitting here doing nothing while I'm doing that, and so I felt bad. So I was like,
well, thank you.
I better stop wasting Caleb's time and just figure this out later.
Yeah.
Which sucked, because...
Yeah, I was excited to just, like, go and just have the fucking video.
But at least, this thing will not stop. I mean, you're gonna see some, like, parts where it's gonna, you know, skip, because that's when the memory card's gonna go into overload, and, you know, the video recording will restart.
Well, were we doing SD last time?
Yeah, we're doing it this time, too.
Okay, I was just wondering, because, like, if we were doing HD last time, it could have been because of that. But since we weren't, it's not.
Yeah. I don't know, Canon, it stops every 8 to 10 minutes. The video recording stops. But I got a new battery for the camera, so I notice how we're not doing this over Google bullshit. Quality will be better, and I can put this video out when the episode was released instead of early, so those Patreon videos, like, there's reason to get the episodes
the
early.
Patreon guys basically get fisted if people are willing to mud through the bullshit that we do, like, for 5 hours, which I did feel kind of bad about, but at the same time I'm like, that's some dedication. They want to get the episode.
Yeah, so...
I mean, if everyone were to support us on Patreon, we wouldn't have to worry about that.
I'm trying to figure this out.
Trying to figure what out?
I'm trying to figure out the fucking technical shit. It's all good for the movie. Like, I got everything now. Like, if I have to do an indoor scene, I suddenly have external power, which is amazing to have.
Yeah. You don't have to worry about batteries.
So, yeah. If there's if there's a shot outside or something like that, I still have to charge batteries and still have to use the camera very sparingly, but inside it's like freedom. Unless you're doing handheld, because you're going to have to stay near the wall.
Well, you could get a giant extension cord.
That's true, you could get a big extension cord.
And
I should probably get a big extension cord. That means even outside, you can just, like...
Yeah, as long as it's near a power source.
Yeah, as long as it's
like, get the 300-footer. Plug it into, like, some random person's house.
Hey, do you mind if we plug this in?
Yeah. Filming a movie. Alright.
Alright, you ready? Okay, Caleb. Teach me about Necron.
Alright, so many of you remember the scary-ass fight at the end of Final Fantasy IX from the guy...
After Kuja, right?
After Kuja, yes. Which is scary for numerous reasons.
Hear more in our part 1 and 2 of Final Fantasy IX review.
Yeah. Plug. No, so, I mean, we kind of felt like Necron just sort of popped out of nowhere.
And most people feel that way, I think.
Yeah. And
it's a big time, like, final boss switch. It's one of those things where I think I read in a Game Informer thing where they were, like, figuring out the perfect RPG or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They had an article about what would be the perfect RPG, and one of the things that it talked about was, you know, the final boss switch. Not going to have that. And that seems to be a problem with a lot of early RPG games. At least that's the way the article was making it sound.
Well, it's a problem with a lot of the Final Fantasy games.
It is, but with the exception of 9, none of them switch right at the end. I don't think. Am I missing one, possibly?
What about...
You usually hear about the final boss beforehand.
Well, there's the guy in 4. Did we hear about him before the very end? I don't know if
the guy who was controlling Golbez?
Yeah. We might have for the last hour or two.
Might have.
But, I mean, we're talking final fight. This guy shows.
Yeah, this guy shows up, nothing happens. You just die from Kuja, and then you're suddenly resurrected to kill this other guy.
Yeah. So, sweet scene. I mean, but basically, Necron obviously means death. You know, necrophilia.
Right, the meaning of his name, yes.
Yeah, so it's just death. And essentially his purpose in Final Fantasy IX, as we know, is X-Death. He's basically X-Death in this game, where he's like, alright, I'm just going to wipe everything out because I hate it.
Okay.
And he was he was basically created by Kuja's hate. That was what brought him... Yeah, that's what the...
Is that the explanation online that you can find? Is that it was just brought to life by Kuja's hate?
Yeah. I mean...
Huh.
It seems... I don't know, it seems weird. Although it wasn't even the game's original final boss. Apparently there was another boss titled Hades. And
Yeah, which
like
you can fight a Hades in
Yeah, you
Final
can.
Fantasy 9.
Yeah, they're saying in this article here, it says it's possible that the Hades represented the final culmination of the many eye motifs observed throughout the game. So apparently he was, let's see, a sword and numerous prominent eyes peering from his throne. Blinking eyes. Yeah, you remember how they went crazy with the eyes?
Yeah, there was a lot of eyes in Final Fantasy 9.
Yeah, that was kind of going to be what the final boss was, and then they switched it to
eye.
Necron. Yeah.
Well, we fought a giant eye before them. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe that was it.
Maybe that was his design. I don't know.
I know they talked about when we did our, when we did our Final Fantasy 9 episode. We talked about they remade the ending like 11 times or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if they meant ending cutscene or possibly ending boss. And obviously they changed it at least once. So I'm wondering why. Why did they go with Necron? And what does Necron really... What's his purpose? He's made from Kuja's hate somehow? Is the crystal like what brings him to life? Is he part of that whole thing?
I think he's like the god of the universe, essentially. Kind of like... I don't know, he's really similar to X-Death, which I did feel. And he does have the Grand Cross ability, and X-Death had one like that too.
Okay.
So... Really, I still... I don't know, after reading up on it, I still feel like he kind of comes out of nowhere. He himself, not his theme. Because his theme is obvious. Death and life and death throughout this game is everywhere. It's like the uber death Final Fantasy up to this point. Now 10, there's a shitload of death in 10 too, also. So, I mean...
10 also?
10 also, not 10 2.
Well, 10... maybe. I haven't played enough of the game.
I played the first hour, and there's a lot of death if you count the random enemies that you're gunning down.
If you count those, yeah.
No, but, yeah, Final Fantasy 9 had a lot of death. And it also had a lot of life, too, with the, with the genomes and the little...
Yeah, the creation of life.
Yeah, so, I mean, that part of Necron makes sense to me, but... This part that still bugs me is the part that bothers you. He's just there.
He's just there. He just shows up, and there's no explanation on that page. Like, we're looking at the wiki here, and if there's no explanation on the Final Fantasy wiki, there really isn't an explanation anywhere.
Yeah, I did.
That's how I feel.
I did enjoy the English version. Necron, his speech. It's like the exact same speech Yoda uses in Phantom Menace. The fear leads to anger.
Right.
That was pretty awesome, but that was, yeah, I don't know, he just starts talking.
Is that where they're getting the theory that Kuja's hate made him because of that sentence?
I think so, yeah.
Where he's like, fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, hate leads to suffering, and he's the suffering. He's gonna make you suffer or something like that?
I think so, yeah.
The fuck? I don't get this at all. Does anybody get this? Well, because I remember, didn't we have a forum member or someone say that he was hinted at?
Yeah, I mean, they mentioned the same kind of themes throughout the game, the life and death, so Necron didn't not make sense, but it still, I don't know, it still is a last-minute boss switch, which is kind of a throwback to the series, so I mean, it's not super upsetting, it's just like...
Okay. Necron resolves to destroy the crystal, the origin of life, thus reverting everything to a zero world of perpetual nothingness, an existence that would be without the fear of death. It teleports the heroes to a column-like structure and engages them in a battle. Though Necron utilizes blah 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 blah, shocked to find the...
Yeah, so he wants to destroy life.
Right, I get it. Okay, so that actually, that idea that it was brought by Kuja's fear, despair, and hatred, that comes from the Ultimania, the book that they put out. So the Final Fantasy 20th Anniversary Ultimania. And so, okay... being awakened by Kuja's fear, despair, and hatred, which called out to it as he learned of his mortality, just as his ambitions were within reach. So
okay, so it didn't bring him to life; it just woke him up. Essentially, he's like an all-powerful god. You kill God yet again. Final Fantasy, it's awesome. They just had to throw it in.
Wow.
Like, how can we put God in here and have you kill him?
That's crazy.
Or it. Yeah. I know. I
thought you would look at that. I thought you would do like some research and actually find some shit.
No, there really wasn't much.
So, huh?
But I mean, I still see where Necron fits as the idea, not necessarily the character himself or itself, because it's supposed to be kind of a gender neutral character. It's just death.
This thing of power within the universe.
That wants to destroy everything because...
I wasn't sure if he was like part of the crystal. He was like pissed off.
He wants to destroy the crystal, yeah.
Okay. That still doesn't make any real sense, but I guess it is a fantasy, so you can't...
Yeah.
Not everything can be explained. It's some kind of godlike being.
Pretty much.
That we can't fully understand, but, you know.
He's not happy.
Kuja called out to him.
Yeah, with Kuja's rage.
I guess.
Rage call. So you're still... How do you feel about Necron after we briefly discussed his...
Well, there's only a brief explanation of Necron.
You feel a little better about it, though?
No.
I kind of do.
I don't get him. I don't get it.
I get the theme, but I don't get the character itself, necessarily. So, meh.
Yeah, it's kind of reminding me of the final bosses of 4 and 5. So,
well,
it's in there.
In 5, though.
And the darkness lady in 3.
3, yeah, it's very similar to that, because you get rezzed by other characters at the end of 3 in the same fashion that you do in 9.
Right.
So that's a pretty big similarity.
Yeah.
But darkness, it's like...
I don't know if I can really buy the fighting a god of death at the end of the Final Fantasies. I'm thinking that should be something that in the future they should just stop. I don't mind if a being that you're against becomes godlike, like Kefka or like Sephiroth or those type of thing. You know, when you know what you're going to be fighting against the whole time. Mm-hmm. I kind of, we talked about Final Fantasy IV, the bossception. Or not the bossception, what do we call it? The mindception. Where, like, each bad guy, it's going up into a ladder.
There's like a chain of command for mind control.
Right. Mind control, but it's also, like, whoever the antagonist is at the moment.
Yeah.
In Final Fantasy IV, which is kind of a ridiculous thing to do.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, you can have sub-bad guys. 7 did it just fine.
Yeah.
There were other bad guys. There was, the Don Corneo guy, he was a bad guy.
And all the twisted people in Final Fantasy XII, those were fine. And
yeah, it works. You don't have to have them perceived as the one badass evil guy.
You thought you were fighting against Golbez the whole time in 4. I mean...
the whole time.
Or Cain.
Yeah, or Cain when he's being a bastard.
But yeah. I don't know. I don't think it's a very good... I guess it's not. It doesn't piss me off that much. Like I still like 9 a lot, but it is kind of a.
Well, we did rate it really high.
Yeah, we did.
Because it was really good, but. No, I know what you mean. It's almost kind of a.
Oh, the sorceress is an 8.
It's almost kind of a weak.
Dia to Adele to Ultimacia.
Or
Renoa briefly.
I don't know. It's almost a sort of weak.
Storytelling device.
Yeah, I mean. I would be fine if, the main bad guy, you see him, you think, oh, okay, they're going to be intense, and then they transform or do some crazy shit in the final fight, but they're
Which we've seen in Final Fantasy also.
Right. And we see that in 12, where, what's his face? I don't even remember his name.
He just, pumps up on the steroids.
Yeah, he transforms, but he's still the same guy. It's not a new guy that's, his boss.
Right, and I think 9 would have been just fine if it was just Kuja at the end.
Yeah, I think everything would have worked just fine, too. I mean, with him getting rescued by Zidane and all of that, or the final moments, that would have still worked.
Yeah.
That would have worked just fine.
Or maybe Sid or someone going down and rescuing the party after Ultima had been used on them.
Yeah.
I think that would have worked, too. I don't think Kuja necessarily... I think Kuja could have just been the last guy.
Yeah. Man, it's okay, though.
Yeah, it's alright. But it's one of the problems with 9, and I thought maybe there would have been more information on him. I thought there might have been more of an explanation, like maybe he was hinted at in some other part, which someone said he was, and if he was, please let us know where exactly and what the quote is, because I do want to find that. We can use it as a correction next week or something, but there doesn't seem to be that much stuff out there about Necron. He's just there. He just exists.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to take him for granted.
I mean, maybe it's something...
Not granted, but...
Just accept it.
Yeah, just accept it.
Yeah. We're turning into spoony sometimes. Where like I can't just accept this. You gotta.
I'm trying not to be spoony.
Throw me a bone here.
It's tough.
No, I don't know, and it is what it is. And it's okay.
Okay. I think we got some tactics.
Oh, I think so.
To get to. All right. Where's the other papers?
I don't know. You're just crumpling shit up.
I don't think I crumpled the tactic up. Oh shit, maybe I did. I did.
Fuck. Yo, fuck! Can't have anything nice!
You want to do the tactic?
Yeah. Which one is it?
It's Batman's. I printed it all out.
I'm gonna use it on here.
Is that really easy for you?
It's not wrinkled as fuck.
Okay. It's the Chocobo Trainer.
Chocobo Trainer Race.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the restroom actually. Is that gonna be alright?
Yeah, it's fine.
Sorry, I know this episode's going late. I'm really sorry.
We're trying to get laid here.
Nice. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, well, not here.
We got behind the scenes going.
It's fine. No one's ever gonna hear that. Good stuff. Good stuff, guys. What was that thing about the 9?
About the 9?
About Necron. I want to find it.
Might be on there. Just search Final Fantasy IX. There's a search bar in that thing, in that forum. I guess Caleb needs to go also. Now it's just me and you. Look deep into my eyes. No, just kidding. Oh. Tired today. I had like 3 days where I only had, I'm an 8-hour kind of guy. I only had 6 hours of sleep for those 3 days. And so I'm just like, trying to stay awake. I don't know why. Every time we go sit down to do an episode, I just feel tired. I hope it doesn't show too much on the episodes. But it probably does. So, in case you guys are following along with my 365 movies in 365 days, I'm like 7 days behind. I think I have like 43 movies right now. Hopefully like 45 by the time this video actually comes out. Anyway, it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun to just, you know, watch a movie a day and sometimes 2 in order to catch up, which I need to do a few of those. But I've certainly a lot of movies that I was like, I'll watch that someday. I've gone through a lot of them now.
Have you?
Yeah.
I've been watching movies that I've already seen.
Many times. Yeah, I know.
Because they're really good, and the person I'm watching them
Caleb made me watch The Rock for the first time. And it kind of sucked.
I thought it was
It was
awesome,
fun.
so.
It was fun, but it kind of sucked. Like, I honestly could... I can think of 2 Michael Bay movies that I prefer. I liked Pain and Gain, and I thought Bad Boys was a better movie than The Rock was.
I like The Rock more.
Yeah. It was so over the top. Just the whole way over the top.
I loved it though. And there was some good
Sean
scenes.
Connery was sweet.
Yeah, there were some good scenes.
There was some good stuff.
Like the fight scene in the
when you
shower
actually
room.
get to the Rock. Like, once they get to Alcatraz, I think the movie, it gets pretty good.
Yeah, but I know what you mean.
Pre-Alcatraz, with the exception of Sean Connery scenes. Like Nicolas Cage's girlfriend.
She's kind of hot. But yeah.
She was a ditz.
Yeah.
I just felt like it was... this annoying girl.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
That he got pregnant.
Yeah.
Way to go, Nicolas Cage.
His character.
Yeah. Well, gosh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I meant it at the time.
I'm so sorry.
What's that?
Did you find where he mentioned Necron?
No, I mean, I saw someone else that was annoyed by Necron.
Oh, okay.
We got fucking followers in this.
Okay. Well, let's see, there's the search. You didn't see the search? Search is at the top of the page. I told you to look for the search.
I don't care about it anymore.
You don't care about it anymore?
No, I don't.
Alright. You gonna do the tactic?
This is our show. I don't fucking care what they say.
I care what they say. I care what you guys say.
Don't.
Sometimes. There's some things where I'm like,
No need.
I don't need to explain myself. Alright.
Our show.
Yeah, are we ready?
Yeah.
Look, we got a lot of audience participation.
I know, I love it. It's great.
And I feel like sometimes they feel...
Left out?
No, it's not really left out. I think they feel like they have more control than they do. What's the word for that? Like entitled.
Entitled?
Yeah, they feel entitled.
You think some? Some might?
I think some might.
Oh, that sucks for them, Alright. So, we do what we want,
It's
man.
like, well, it is our show. We are there to serve the audience. Can't forget about the audience, but...
No.
There's some things like the sequel thing, or...
Yeah, it's like, well, this is just what we're going to do. And a lot of it is ideas you've come up with, but I see why you came up with them. 10-2 would be the only one that we would maybe make an exception for due to it actually coming out after 10. But even then, it's a sequel, so I'm going to wait.
So did 4.
Not right after 4, though.
No, not right after. It was years later.
Yeah, it was a while.
7 has sequels.
Yeah, but it's the one that came out in succession from its original, as opposed to like, oh, let's do spin-offs.
Well, 11 still came out in 2003. I'm not sure when 10-2 came out, but it was probably around the same time.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, but we're gonna play 11, so fuck 10-2. 10-2 would be the thing. If we weren't playing 11,
we would play 10-2.
we'd probably play 10-2.
Yeah,
just
we
to say,
about
hey, this is a main series.
Not 11, non-online.
Non-online game.
And then we had talked about that as an option before. But.
So like Green Mushrooms, I looked at his thing, and he was talking about, how he wouldn't compare 14 to the rest of the series because he felt like it was unfair to compare those. And I say we compare them anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're probably not going to have as much love in our heart, but
I don't know. I like 14.
14,
played
but
of it.
11. I don't know.
11's control scheme is bullshit.
All right, you ready for this?
It's bullshit. All right. Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, so this tactic is brought to us by Batman, an Ultima weapon on the forums.
Oh, nice.
It's titled Chocobo Trainer Race. Here are a few quick pointers. God, okay. Here are a few quick pointers for racing the Chocobo Trainer on its highest difficulty.
Which you get a trophy for this, right?
Yes.
Okay.
You have
and
to
you're trying to get all the trophies in 10.
The thing is if you're gonna platinum the game, you have to do this. 'Cause
right.
This is how you get the weapons.
Okay.
The celestial
So
weapons.
tell me Batman's strategy for this.
All right. He says if you're trying to get the Sun Sigil, you will need to finish this race with a time under 0.0 seconds. I have had a race time that finished at exactly 0.0 seconds, and I only won a shitty item. In order to achieve this time, I'm sorry, I was caught off guard by that. In order to achieve this time, you need to shoot to get between 12 and 15 balloons, while only getting hit once or twice if you are fast enough to the finish. It is very difficult. but these tips will help you. And remember, use the D-pad. It makes maneuvering your chocobo a little easier. Also remember that if you run
use the
into...
D-pad a lot in 10 anyway.
Do you?
Yeah.
What's funny is Jake, the kid who loves Final Fantasy like crazy, he's going to be on the show one day, so I'm forgetting. But
we told him he would, and then...
I was like, oh, shit, I already did Sun. No, but he played 10 without the analog stick, so he had no idea what Lulu's ult was.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah, he had like one of those non-analog stick PS2 controllers.
I didn't even know those existed.
Yeah, or no, he had a DualShock 1 PS1 controller or something. There was something fucked up to where it wouldn't let him
let him use the thing?
Yeah, and he never was
didn't
able
press
to...
the middle button?
Yeah, he was never able to do the friggin...
Turn on. You can turn on and off the analog on the original DualShocks.
Yeah.
That's probably what he didn't... Obviously didn't know how to do that, or something.
I think he was using a DualShock 1, because you can still use them, you just won't be
Yeah,
able to
you can use them on 10, yeah.
But,
can't use them in the Kingdom Hearts games.
No.
That pissed me off, because I had to go buy a new controller.
So yeah, he had no idea what Lulu's ult was. He had like no clue until he played it again.
That's funny.
Yeah, that sucks, because that thing's a piece if you don't. Anyway, it's very difficult, but using the D-pad makes maneuvering your chocobo a little easier. Also remember that if you run into an invisible wall, quote-unquote, it will cause your chocobo to make a hard turn back on course. This is sometimes useful when you need a quick dodge. The first ramp-like area will try and trick you into thinking you can pick up a balloon or two by moving left. Don't do it! This will cause the trainer to move ahead of you, and you don't want a single balloon. And you won't get a single balloon. Oh, I remember this now. Fuck, it's coming back. Instead, stay right, as your goal is to gather a couple balloons and be in front of the trainer as you round the corner. Being ahead of the trainer as you round the corner will cause most of the birds to target the trainer. This helps free you up to gather more balloons without the risk of getting hit yourself. It is very important that you attempt to stay to the right as much as possible, as moving more to the center or left will cause the birds to start targeting you. It is also important to note that while there are some sets of birds that target the trainer while you are in the lead, some will aim for you regardless. These usually give you enough time to dodge them if you are paying attention. And if I remember correctly, the camera angle is fucking horrible for this.
I'm sorry.
I'm pretty sure it's
I've never tried doing this, so this is all new to me.
I'm pretty sure it's like the side view and the shit's coming this way, and I'm like, if I remember right.
Yeah, that was good radio telling people that the shit's coming this way.
So I'm going across the screen horizontally, and stuff is coming at me that way, and I was like, fuck this, I don't even know what this is. During the second turn, try to stay to the right as you head to the final leg of the race. This last stretch is where a bit of luck comes in, as the birds are a little more unpredictable. If you stay to the right, you will have a better chance of avoiding the birds, but the balloons are scattered all over the place. Only make very calculated attempts at collecting balloons in this last area, as you can be hit multiple times in a matter of seconds and end a promising run. A last bit of advice: if there are a few balloons in a row at the very end of the race on the left-hand side, you can attempt to collect them, as the birds don't always have the time to fly into this area. It can be dangerous getting over here, so only do it if you, it says is you, it's really fucking me up, if you need that last balloon or two to get to your target time. Good luck! That sounds like hell.
Are you going to use this guide here for when you do it? Yeah, okay, alright.
I'm going to have this shit pulled up and go for it.
Alright, Batman, lead me.
Yeah.
Alright, thank you, Batman, for that. So, Caleb, I know that we got some issues on our forum having to deal with that, you know, we didn't do the side quests in Final Fantasy IX.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not going to do the side quests in Final Fantasy IX. It's just how it is. One long Chocobo side quest that we didn't know about till the end of the game when I had to look up what the side quests were, and then the Moogle thing, which is also an extremely long, just one long side quest, and
yeah,
there's very few little side quests and collectible kind of things to do without doing those giant side quests also in Final Fantasy IX, and that's why we didn't do it, and we're not going to go back to it, and I'm sorry.
Nope, it's done.
Yeah, but we are going, at least Caleb Schweiss is going to try to platinum Final Fantasy X, and I will work for 2 weeks on Final Fantasy X on getting what I can.
Yeah, I want to do everything in this game this time.
Okay.
Everything.
Really?
Yeah.
Alright, man.
It's a lot.
It is a lot.
Yeah, we'll see what I can do.
Okay.
And I won't want to hear a single bad thing about side quests. Especially if I've got to do this damn race.
Alright, man. Well...
You gonna do some
let's
questions?
go on to our next segment.
Alright, let's do it.
I'm not sure if it's going to be questions, dickhole. Let me check what our time code is right now. We're about 40 minutes.
Okay. We can catch up on some questions.
You want to do questions?
Yeah.
We got a lot of questions.
I know. We can bang them out.
You gotta... I wish there was a way to order it when posted.
I know. I'm like, oh, yeah, this one's old, and then I look down, I'm like, oh, wait, that one's like 2 weeks older.
Yeah,
we got like 12. Alright.
12 questions. Oh, God.
15, actually.
Lloyd was wondering why so little Twitter.
I know. What am I going to say?
I've been lazy.
Yeah, I'm trying to play 10. What do you want?
At least show some screenshots of you playing 10.
Just like me, vegging in front of the TV. 10. Fucking butterflies.
Dude, I hate those Cloisters of Trials. I hate them. I've only gone through 2 of them also, and they're like... I know they're easy in comparison to like the last one.
Did you get the bonus items?
Been trying to, yeah.
I've gotten all of them so far.
The Destruction Sphere stuff?
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten both of those so far, yeah. I think you have to get them all in order to get one of your trophies.
You might.
I think in order to get one of the summons, you have to get all the stuff.
You have to get all the extra.
Yeah.
I never got her when I played 10 before. Now I'm gonna have her.
You're gonna have to. Do you want my strategy guide?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
I know what I need to cheat on to make sure I get it done. The primers.
Yeah, it's the primers that you can't miss. It's the only thing that's missable.
I was watching that Spoonie review and the alarm in that area. He's like, it sounds like the guy over the PA is calling Titus a cunt. You remember that in the video?
No.
It sounds like that, like completely. Titus is a cunt. It's like some inaudible thing.
That's funny.
Yeah.
We all want to call him that from time to time.
Yeah, he's not too bad though. I mean, kind of annoying, but not really as bad as I remember.
The first time playing through the game, you'll be annoyed by him. I think that's what it is.
You start to understand.
Yeah, I think it's a first time playthrough.
Although it is amazing what they did with him, making him, with us, completely unknowledgeable to the new world.
Right.
It's a great storytelling device.
Yep. Pretty great.
Yeah. You ready? Bang out some questions.
Bend over.
What kind of movie is Joe interested in making?
Oh, is that really what you're going to start with?
No.
God. I don't want to answer that.
FF10 question. How annoying is Titus? Airship, spin-off, Type 0. Emulation. Let's do emulation.
Emulation?
Yep.
Emulation. Emulation. You're going to ask all the questions?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, because I don't have anything in front of me. Wait a second.
Alright, so the first question in today's question segment.
We got a lot of questions
It's true.
in the last 2 weeks, so we'll try to answer as many as we can by the end of the hour.
Let's do it. Alright, so this one comes from Batman. Still on Ultima Weapon. Hasn't been posting in the last 5 minutes, apparently, so... tough question for Joe and Caleb. It's titled...
Tough question,
Emulation.
Huh? A tough one?
Just the question.
Okay.
Well, we would all prefer to play each FF game in its original format and pay for each game. How do you feel about downloading a game on an emulator in which you have no means to otherwise play? I understand that for the most part you can find someone selling an FF game and a console, but they often charge way too much money. even if you were to purchase the physical copy of a game, the parent company won't get a penny of that transaction unless it was a digital purchase. And what about games that aren't available for digital? Pay for a physical copy of a game even if Square Enix won't see a penny of that purchase? Or do you think that if you have the means to download and play a game, there is no harm done? I personally feel that if I wanted to play an obscure title like FF Crystal Chronicles, and there was no way to purchase the game through a paid digital download, I might be detracting from future FF sales.
Batman is in Australia, right?
I believe so.
Okay.
Due to my lack of experience playing this game. We have all seen visual copies of masterpieces from artists like Picasso and enjoyed these images without purchasing the actual... phone just turned off. Without purchasing the actual painting, so why should downloading an original copy of an FF game which is not available for digital purchase be such a bad thing? I understand that you cannot condone illegal emulation. Of course we can.
Well, we can,
but do you think that games should be able to be enjoyed through emulation if they cannot be purchased directly from the producing company? This is a complex
Okay, what was
issue.
the first question in that whole list?
How do we feel about downloading a game on an emulator in which you have no means to otherwise play?
Okay, the caveat there is in which we have no means to otherwise play.
Yes.
Okay.
There's always a means.
All right.
Not necessarily.
No, not always. As far... My only exception to this is if you cannot get the system, I think that's okay to download old games onto emulators. Games that the company is not making money on anymore.
Right, I mean...
That there's no new version to play. So let's say Earthbound or something like that. It's a Super NES game. It's rare. You can't get a hold of it, really. Donkey Kong Country. I already said the word rare, but Rare was bought up by Microsoft, and although the characters of Donkey Kong, Nintendo can use them for future Donkey Kong games, Donkey Kong Country, the Super NES game, cannot be available on Nintendo stuff from now on.
There is a Game Boy port, though.
Yeah, at some point there was a Game Boy, you're right. That's going to age, right?
Yeah, the game itself is already aged.
So it's not available on WiiWare anymore.
No.
Right. So you can't... There's no way to get that game legally. Unless you get like an old used copy, which are extremely expensive.
Yeah, and that's kind of where the duality of piracy comes in. I mean, is it really that different for me to go down to, the local JV Games video game store and buy a used game? I'm not supporting Square.
No, but you are supporting
JV
Games,
which is a local business, which I'm happy to support.
Right.
But at the same time, Square Enix will not see a single penny of that because they already sold that copy. That copy has already been sold. So I can kind of see where people would say, oh, well, it's not no harm, no foul because that copy is a used copy. I'm just going to download this instead. But there's a problem with that, and the problem lies with if everyone were to do that, there wouldn't be any games.
No big-time games, at least.
Yeah, this goes back to, classical thinking of Aristotle, where if everyone were to do it, what was it? It's, if everyone can't do it, it's not right. Or if everyone, so with this, if everyone were to do this, it would deplete it, so it makes it wrong, according to that line of thinking. And I totally see where they're coming from with that. Now, at the same time, Square should release their fucking games to us. We should be able to play the games.
Okay, so this now this is kind of a case-by-case basis. Now, at the beginning of this podcast, episode 1, we said we do not support emulation. That's because we want to support Square, and we want to support local businesses. However, if you're in another country, and you have no way of playing a certain game, then,
Yeah, I mean, should we expect them to buy a U.S. region?
Yeah, should we expect them to buy a U.S. PlayStation 2, ship it over?
Yeah.
Or, excuse me, a GameCube. GameCube was where Crystal Chronicles is at. Mm-hmm. So they'd have to buy a U.S. GameCube, because I think it's region locked.
I think they are. I'm not 100% sure on the GameCube.
U.S. or Japanese, if you know Japanese.
Yeah.
And well enough to play a whole game.
Which is impressive.
In Japanese,
but...
yeah, it is impressive. So you'd have to ship both that and the game. The game is not cheap. But yet, buying a used copy of the game doesn't support Square Enix. It supports the export store.
Right.
That you get it at.
Which is still good for the local economy.
It's still good. Yeah, it's still good for them. So I think at all cost, at all reasonable cost, do not emulate games.
Yeah, I would say that too.
If you are, do the legal thing. Play a game that you already own, that you already purchased.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just for the save states.
Yeah, and I like having the copies. I don't know. When it's something I enjoy enough, even if I do have a burned disc of a CD, if I like the CD, I'm gonna go buy the CD.
I think it's absolutely ridiculous to emulate a newer game.
Oh yeah.
That you can get a hold of easily. I don't think you need to have a digital download of the game. I think a physical copy is just fine. Now I know this goes with the whole argument of digital versus physical, which we had before, and I believe that both of us believed, with the exception of some PC games, that physical was the way to go, right?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter though. It's still the game.
Okay, I'm against emulation within reason.
Yeah,
I think, and that reason being, you can't get a hold of the fucking thing. I'm okay with the English versions of 2D Final Fantasy games that never made it over here. Fan-translated stuff.
Yeah, if that's the only way to play it.
If that's the only way to play it, then you're kind of supporting the making of future games by downloading that. You're being a fan, and they know that if they come out with a new game, that you'll be likely to buy that. But let's say illegally playing Final Fantasy 13, I think is ridiculous.
Yeah, there's no reason for it, especially when it's a new game. I mean, sure, Square won't make any money off of the sale unless they're still making copies of it, which I'm not sure if they are or not. But at the same time, there's no reason for you to be stealing it. It's like a fucking 3-year-old game. 5 years, 6, something like that. I don't know.
Now, if you're in Australia, and I'm not sure if they got the Crystal Chronicles or not, you, Batman, I think you're Australian, I think.
Yeah, it's something.
I guess I'm not really that opposed to you pirating it there. But pirating it here in the U.S. is ridiculous, because you can find copies of that game, and you can find GameCubes for $20.
Right.
So, fuck it, man.
Yeah,
it might not even be that bad to export it.
I don't know. I mean, that would be kind of up to your discretion at that point. But, yeah. Pirating ruins industries, and we want games, so.
But definitely for future Final Fantasy releases, for more recent releases, don't pirate.
Yeah, there's no reason. You can get the game.
Get the game.
And if you can't, then go for it, I guess. They should have all of the games in pretty much every country, I think. If they want to avoid piracy.
Well, Central Asia, Africa, they're not gonna.
Well, obviously not everywhere. The places where people are gonna buy the damn things. All right, so there's another one here.
But you can still import. You can import from everywhere, basically. On
it's
Amazon.
True, yeah. Amazon loves the world.
Yeah, I can import from Japan on Japanese Amazon.
Nice.
There's like this 4-hour making of Princess Mononoke that has only been partially translated into English on YouTube, and I was thinking about just buying that, but DVDs are expensive in Japan, so I thought for a little longer and decided that wasn't a purchase worth the getting.
Yeah, that's probably a wise choice. All right, so there's another question here from Batman.
Not yet, anyway. The day that I have a lot of money to spend,
Yeah, for your needless collections.
Yeah.
That you'll watch like twice.
Well, here's the thing. I don't understand why Disney doesn't. Fuck it.
Same thing. That's a thing.
Yeah, Disney won't when they make their Disney Blu-rays of the of the Ghibli movies over there. I know I said I'm not a fan of anime, but I am a fan of Hayao Miyazaki and Isao Takahata. They're awesome. But whenever they bring it over here, they don't keep their extras over there. Like they don't bring their extras here except for storyboard shit, and then they'll have like some making of the voice acting of the English version.
So stuff you don't care
I'm like,
about.
why the fuck? I don't care about that. I don't even watch them with the English voice actors. But Universal Pictures, they're the ones who have exported Tale of Princess Kaguya, which came out, and everybody needs to fucking see that movie because it's amazing. They actually kept the making of. They brought it over. So Universal was really the right people to export that movie. fucking pissed at Disney.
They should all.
There's a 4-hour making of Princess Mononoke that we can't see. Unless you know Japanese.
Yeah. Alright, so Batman has another post here called Other Series. This question is for the entire forum. Other than FF, what game series is one that you can't live without? For him, it's The Legend of Zelda, and he'll find a way to buy a new console if a new Zelda will be coming out for it. He has beaten every Zelda game, and his knowledge of each rivals his FF knowledge. What are some of your favorite series?
Caleb, you want to answer that one? You're more of a game player than I am.
Yeah. Can't live without. That's a pretty strong statement because I've really enjoyed a lot of game series, but I don't necessarily go back to them. So, I don't know, Metal Gear Solid is one, I would say. Probably one of the most solid.
Yeah, but you've never played 4.
I played 4.
Oh, you played 4?
I didn't beat 4. Though.
Oh, you didn't beat 4. See? It
didn't have trophies, and I was a trophy whore at the time.
I think it has trophies now,
yeah,
if you get the newer versions of the game.
But, you know what sucks?
What?
I'll have to play the other 3. Which doesn't necessarily suck, they're good games, I don't really remember everything.
Dude, I played Metal Gear Solid 3, and it was probably one of the best games I've ever played.
It's really good.
So I couldn't get into 1.
Well, 1's very difficult.
Yeah.
The camera and everything.
The overhead view was just throwing me off.
Yeah, so Metal Gear Solid would probably be one of them for me. I think it's a really solid series. Really enjoy it.
Solid
Very
series.
solid. Like metal. And outside of that,
Kiefer Sutherland's voicing the 5th one. That's perfect, man.
Yeah.
That's perfect voice.
I like the old guy more.
Yeah, but he's playing a different version of
Snake?
Of Snake, yeah.
Yeah, I know. He's a clone. Spoiler.
Yes.
He's a clone. I'd say that, and I don't know, there's other series like Bioshock. I really enjoy all 3 of those games. They're really good.
I played the first one, it was great.
Dead Space is a good series. I mean, I can live without those, though. I played and loved them, but I'm, like, done with them now. I love them, and
Age of Empires 2.
Age of Empires 2.
Civilization.
Civ 5 would be one. I know that's not a series, it's one game.
Did you ever play the other ones, though?
No, I didn't.
I played 4 quite a bit, and I played a tiny bit of 3.
I never touched them.
4 is great. 5 is amazing.
Yeah.
3 is okay.
For me...
I know some people that like 3 a lot better.
Yeah, I do too. 3 is one of the ones that are really popular.
Yeah.
For me, a lot of it is, I play a lot of Call of Duty. I hate it, but I play it anyway.
You hate Call of Duty, but you love it?
Yeah.
Okay.
When I'm playing it and I go around a corner and I just get gunned down instantly, I'm like, why am I fucking playing this?
Campaigns are always great for those.
Yeah, they're usually intense.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I can really live without series. There's particular entries in series that I really enjoy, but there's not a series that I...
Okay. So you're not a Zelda fan, I know you're not.
Not that much.
Not a Mario guy. Nothing Nintendo. You're just nothing Nintendo, are you? God of War!
Yeah, God of
War.
War.
You love God of War.
It's a really good series, yeah.
Yeah, okay. You're surprisingly lukewarm about all this.
Yeah?
I'd say, yeah.
Well, it's different because they worded it as series you go back to.
Okay.
And I don't look back, baby. It's all forward for me.
Okay. Well,
mostly. But yeah, God of War is another really good series that I really enjoy. Haven't played them for a while, though. I mean, I platinumed the first one, so okay. Kind of feel like everything's done. What about you?
Well, besides Final Fantasy, man, I would have said Halo at a different point in time. But ever since they went to the separate Microsoft company that they set up, 343 Industries or whatever it's called.
Not as big on them.
Not as big on them, no. Halo 1 through 3, I fucking love. And, part of it is the social aspect of playing with friends. I think it's still a way better... I think Halo 2 is better than any Call of Duty, as far as multiplayer is concerned. It's just... It's so well balanced, it's fun, and, like, the physics are perfect.
Yeah.
Don't... Call of Duty is kind of a lukewarm replacement for for Halo, Especially the good Halos 1 through 3. Because I played every single one of those a lot.
Yeah, I played a lot of them too.
And so that I would have said that at one point, but now it's kind of like, well, I'll try out Destiny when I get that PS4, which should be coming soon. I'm waiting for my Utah tax return.
Yeah. Are you gonna get the new COD? Play with us?
No, probably not. Because you guys will be bored of it by the time I get
Maybe.
PS4.
It's still like a time waster. Like when I have 15 minutes, I'll throw COD in and get pissed and then go do whatever I was supposed to do.
You know, I played it with you. That's a really fast-paced game of COD.
I enjoy it.
That was pretty enjoyable what I played with you. What is it called? Advanced Warfare?
Yeah. And I like Battlefield 4 more. I know you're not as big.
I hate Battlefield. I'm sorry.
Joe can't handle the physics.
Can't handle how big the maps are and all that. I love it.
But
my favorite thing in the world is a lot of people want a small map. That's why I love Halo, because you can do shit like that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Battlefield's just the opposite of
everything. Well, there are maps that are
too
small.
much sniping. I hate sniping.
I love sniping. But it depends. I like games. I don't necessarily go back to series over and over again. I just enjoy particular games.
Yeah, the hosts of this series probably don't really care too much for other series too much.
Yeah. Or
mostly because I'm not that big of a video game player. I mean, your answer surprised me, but
yeah. It's that's how it is, man.
See, what do I got down there? Ooh, Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Yeah, those are really good.
Let's see. I'm trying to look at my games from across the room. Yeah, there's not really.
But the thing is we can live without the next installment.
Not really too many series. Roller Coaster Tycoon 1 and 3.
Yeah, there are 3.
I think I got those games are amazing.
It's a hit and miss though, honestly. For me, even though I've played mini series, I played all of Dead Space, not all of GTA. I've got to play 5.
Okay.
It's really good, but I stopped playing it for some reason. The reason why I stopped playing it is because I was like, I'm gonna go through 3.
Were you playing a Final Fantasy at the same time? That's 5.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think when we started the podcast, you were playing 5.
Yeah, maybe that's why I stopped.
Yeah, you maybe stopped. Yeah.
Because I was trying to play Final Fantasy 1, and I was like, fuck, I don't have time for Grand Theft Auto.
It might have been a different one. I'm not sure.
Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's our answer to it.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. I love games, but I can live without most series. It's just installments in the series that I truly enjoy.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's get on to the next question here. It is from none other than Void. Level 99 on the forums. He asks...
By the way, there is a level after I banked Tifa.
It's true. We're getting there.
You just got to get to 750 posts, and then you'll see it, and it's funny. So...
Yeah. Void says, I think that Bravely Default is the best Final Fantasy game that I've played in years. It's Final Fantasy in everything but name. Even the internal development started as a Final Fantasy game.
True.
Have either of you played or looked into it? What are your overall impressions of the game?
I've never played it. Caleb Craig has played it. He loves it. That's all I've gotten from it. I know it was a Final Fantasy early in development, and then they changed it. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why. But and I know it was a big hit, and I've heard it's great.
We don't have much Nintendo paraphernalia.
No, I didn't have a DS.
We're Sony guys for the most part, and Microsoft.
So that's why that's one of the things is that I don't have a DS.
But since it was originally a Final Fantasy, we're gonna be.
It's gonna be on the tail end of this giant saga that is our podcast.
Yeah, so you will find out for sure.
Yeah, what we feel about Bravely Default. Though, all I've heard is good things.
Yeah, I've heard really good things, and that is exciting because it seems like the job class is really in depth in it. And I loved that in 5. So
yeah.
All right. What kind of movie is Joe interested in making from Shinru?
Oh my god.
A Night of the Round.
This question.
We're going for it. A little off topic in regards to FF, but still on topic with the show since it's a question about the hosts. Joe has mentioned a few times on the podcast that he's in film school, correct?
Yes.
He also mentioned a few episodes ago that he's on a break from school right now and has to film a movie.
So I'm not in film school.
He's taking classes related
I'm taking 2 semesters off.
Okay.
In order to make a movie.
So what kind of movie, he's curious, what kind of movie you have to film, and once you finish film school, quote unquote, what kind of movies are you interested in making?
Huh. Well,
and hopefully the answer's not the same as what was on there. I didn't see that.
Well, my answer that I put was gay porn, definitely, I believe.
Yeah, it is.
So, we'll make some gay porn with this equipment that I got. Well, so far I've spent $2,100 on equipment for filming. I have been writing constantly. because I don't have school, and it's like my life is just like this open chasm. I've never had a break from school this long. I mean, I just went straight into college after high school. And I've been slowly working through college because I've changed my major like 3 times. Because I was like, oh, English, and then it was like, what did I do? What did I do after English? I was like theater or something bullshit like that. I can't remember what I actually switched it to, but and then after that, I finally did figure out that there was a film program at UVU, and so I'm going into that. And I love this fucking major, so it's perfect. And I've always wanted to make movies this whole time. It's not like I was in the other programs and thinking I wasn't making movies.
Yeah.
Like that whole entire time when I was in English, I just wanted to like finish and have a degree. But then I realized that English was an extremely hard major, and that I'm not a very good writer. So so I switched over to theater for, you know, the acting stuff, and then I found out about the digital media department at UVU because it's kind of this small program at UVU. So it is film school. It's more on the technical side, though. It's not about storytelling so much as it is about using the equipment. So it's about using the Reds and all digital filmmaking equipment.
Yeah.
BYU has one of the best film schools in the country.
Yeah, basically.
And we're in the same town, and so UVU is just trying to get to where BYU is.
Right. And essentially what Joe's, like he said, he's just trying to learn the technical side of it.
Yeah.
The rest of it, I mean, you're working on, obviously, you've been making little shorts shitty movies. Yeah, so what are you interested in doing? I mean, honestly, it's good stuff.
I'm planning on making a film in the next few months. I have, as I started saying, I have been writing since, let's see, January and February and December. I've been writing scripts. I've written 2 scripts. I was going to write a 3rd one, and then I was going to pick one. 3 scripts, and I'm writing scripts that are low budget or no budget based scripts, so they're less than an hour and a half long, and they don't have too many, you know, special effects works, and right. I can't do anything like that. So I've been looking at, you know, the movie Clerks and El Mariachi, all those 90s movies that were made from filmmakers doing their first movie on like 16mm cameras. I'm going to be using a DSLR. And so, yeah, that's how, technically, that's how it's going to be working. As far as the type of movie that I'm going to make, it's going to be a small drama.
It's a good place to start.
Yeah. I'll have more info later. I mean, I have 2 scripts written right now. I'm working on doing a second draft of the second one.
Yeah, believe me when I say you guys will know when the time comes.
You guys will know.
If we release anything.
And, yeah, so far I'm keeping this one pretty close to the chest until we go into production, and we might be going into production while we have planned to do Final Fantasy XI, and that's honestly, like, something that's been, like, giving me anxiety about playing Final Fantasy XI is because I'm like, I think I'll be shooting a movie around that time. So I'm a little scared about that.
Well, hopefully that doesn't fuck us over. All right, so
hopefully it doesn't. So that's all I can tell you for now. We'll have more info later.
A good movie. That's the answer.
Trying to make a good. It's mostly about making a movie. A full-length movie that you can show to investors in the future to say, hey, I have this project, here's my old film that I worked on. With money, I can make something even better.
Right.
Right. So that's the idea, is you make one really cheap movie, and then you move on from there.
Yeah. And
it's not necessarily to make the cheap movie, have it premiere at Sundance, and suddenly I'm, you know, working with the Weinsteins. Though that would be amazing, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's mostly about, you know, they used to do it with short films, and they still do, but I want to show a full-length project. So, that's how it's going to work.
Nice.
Yeah.
Alright, so
it'll be black and white and filmed on a DSLR. That's what it's going to be. That's the type of movie I'm making.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Alright, so we got another question here from Batman. It's titled Favorite Summon.
Are you cold in here, dude? I'm fucking cold.
A little bit.
I'm putting on a blanket for you behind the scenes, folks.
Ooh. Alright, so he asks, who is your favorite Summon, Esper, GF, Aeon, Eidolon? If they have appeared in multiple games, which is your favorite iteration? I've always really liked Odin, but I thought he was best in FF6 due to the awesome backstory that they had for him during his side quest.
That's true.
I also like how he transforms into Raiden in a couple of the games, adding a new twist to his abilities. What do you think?
Favorite summon?
Yeah.
I think I've answered this one before for specific games. But in general, Ifrit, I'd say.
Damn.
He always has the coolest design. He's in every single one. He's usually like an early summon that you get. He was just cool. It's fire damage.
Yeah, I would say either Ifrit or Bahamut.
Oh yeah, Bahamut. Bahamut's always good.
Yeah. I've always loved Ifrit though. Like the first time I got him when I was playing 7, I was like, this guy's sweet. She was pretty hot.
My favorite design of Ifrit is probably from Final Fantasy VIII.
Yeah. I actually like Diablo's.
Like to me, it's like the perfect, version of Ifrit.
Dude, Shiva in 10, man, it's nice in that HD.
I like Shiva in 8 also.
Yeah,
I just love the summons. I think the summons in 8 look great. I don't think they look as good in 7 or in 9, but I think
8's Diablo's design is like really good.
Diablo's is really cool. Yeah,
I love that design. He's like kind of a one-off, but.
All right, Caleb. Well, we're approaching the hour. Let's do one more question.
All right, one more question.
One more question.
Let's see, which one do we want to do?
And you guys can keep asking the questions, just that we'll have a big bank to choose from.
All right, let's do an FF10 question.
Oh.
And we're playing 10?
No, wait till we do a 10.
One?
Yeah, we're going to save 10 questions for the 10 review episode.
Okay.
Which we still have a little while. So, okay, what's this?
Alright, so this one is...
A lot of Batman today?
I'll choose somebody else. Sorry, man.
Sorry, Batman. We've had a lot of you in this podcast.
Alright, this one is titled Airships from Crimson Command.
Okay.
A Black Mage. So, as I listened to the most recent episode, part 1 of FF9, I remembered my favorite airship, the Invincible. Which one? 9 had many great airships, and the airship is constantly an important aspect of the series. From all of the FFs, what are your favorite airships and why? Mine is, like I said, the Invincible from 9, with the Ragnarok of 8 in a close second. There were a lot in 12, but none were memorable. I think the sleek design coupled with the midnight blue scheme is beautiful. Also, the mind-controlling counter eye thing is pretty badass. Favorite airship?
That's a tough question. Because I don't remember the names of all the airships. That sucks.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? The Lunar Whale.
Yeah?
Yeah. That could go up into the moon. And that was pretty sweet.
In case you wanted to get your ass kicked.
Yeah. So, that's probably a second. The first, though, is an airship from the 3rd Final Fantasy that I cannot remember the name of to save my life, but... There was an airship in the 3rd Final Fantasy. You get a couple airships in Final Fantasy 3. There was an airship that was mega, super, ultra fast. And I cannot remember the name of it for the life of me, but whatever that fucking fast airship was in Final Fantasy 3, that's the one.
Yeah, there was an...
Just because the fastest the airship is, the best. Yeah. I don't care how it looks, just its functionality is what's important.
That's why 8's pissed me off, because it was kind of slow.
Yeah, 8's was slow. I did like being able to select where you go, and then it would just go there.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
That's more of the programming for the game than the airship itself. Yeah. And then in 10, they were just like, fuck it, we'll just do just that.
Like, 1 through 6 always had a fast airship, but I think 3's was like the super fast one.
It was like the tiny little bastard that was like...
Yeah.
It's like Mach 3.
So that'd probably be mine. I mean, do you have a favorite?
Let's see. I don't know, I do really like the Ragnarok. I think it's a sweet airship. I mean, it looks cool. It like fucking grabs onto
really cool, yeah.
What is that, the
Lunatic Pandora?
Yeah, it like grips onto it like a fucking transformer. That one's pretty sweet, and...
Alright, so we got some replies on that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what were you about to say?
That one's sweet, and I don't know, I can't remember. Alright, so the Invincible is really cool. This is a reply from Light Sage. I really like the look of the Celsius from 10.2. It's like the hot rod of the Final Fantasy universe. Batman says, I'd go with the Blackjack from FF6. It was fast, the only one at the time, and had its own onboard casino. That's a good point.
Yeah, that is a good point.
I think there was even free booze from that guy who said, "Go, customers, any refreshments?" Plus, it's ideal for kidnapping hot chicks and having giant orgies.
Yeah, if you have listened to our fanfiction episodes.
Yes. The Invincible, Fact that 10 had events, took place on the airship. 10's airship is pretty sweet too because of its like nuclear...
10's is cool, but you never get to fly it.
No, it does have like nuclear destruction capabilities though.
It's like 12's also. You never get to fly it. You know?
Yeah.
Which blows.
It does. It takes away the freedom of the game.
Right.
It's so linear.
Alright, well I think that's going to end it for this episode. We want to thank you guys for listening and for giving us your iTunes reviews. Please, if you haven't already, review us on iTunes. We had a moment this week where we were ranked really high, and it was nice.
It was. We love it.
And I think we got a lot more people listening to our show since Limit Breaks mentioned us, and since our ranking in iTunes was higher for at least a little while. I think we got some new people on. So for you new people, welcome, and make sure you join the forums and ask a question.
Yeah, give us some fodder for the old question segment. Yeah. And also remember to check us out.
Probably my favorite segment because we don't have to plan anything.
That's true, it is easy. Make sure to check us out on Patreon too. I mean, give us $1 and we'll throw the episodes a day early. Yeah. It's pretty nice. And
we got a new Patreon supporter, so I can't remember. Was it Douglas?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Douglas, thank you for supporting us on Patreon, and everybody else who supports us on Patreon, thank you very much. Mecha Messiah, we're going to, as we end this episode right now, we're going to find a new place to get that mug.
Yeah, the copyright issue bullshit that they tried to pull on us.
Yeah, and that was a few weeks ago, and we're just, we're trying to recover from that.
It hurts the pride, because we totally made that the design.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sure it looks exactly the same, but...
Yeah, we got your bumper sticker, we got your shirt, we will get your mug. And as soon as that happens, if anybody else comes along, we know exactly where to get everything.
Yes.
And what to do.
And the shirt is nice, too, so...
The shirt is nice.
Tempted to keep it.
It's a little too big for me, but,
Yeah, it'll shrink.
It'll shrink, yeah. Hopefully not too much.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to give Mecha Messiah a shirt that just, goes...
It's, tiny.
From where it is to, super small or something like that.
He might be another belly shirt. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
And we need to get Mecha Messiah on the show here soon, don't we?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, we haven't talked to him that much on the forum lately, but he's still supporting us on Patreon, so I hope he's still listening. So I think it'd be cool to get Mecha Messiah on another episode.
Yeah, we should.
Somewhere in this 10 time while we're working on this stuff.
It's a long time.
Yeah. All right, you guys. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, enjoy the grind.
This has been another production of Ultimate Final Fantasy Podcast.
Should we dedicate the episode to the new Patreon guy because he donated $5?
No, because we usually wait till review episodes. We want to make it special, remember?
It is special. Every episode is special.
Nah, this one's...
Except for the Ito episode.
No, I think special episodes are spotlights and and reviews.
Yeah. Alright, we can do that.
Okay, so that's all I'm concerned with. I don't want to give them a
shitty episode.
It's not a shitty episode because these episodes aren't shitty. They just are kind of... They're all about the audience questions and a small discussion instead of being a real big planned episode.
Plus, we have many more people that listen to the reviews. Everyone listens to the reviews. Not everyone listens to the small ones.
Right.
Some people just listen to the reviews, but they don't. No one just listens to the non-reviews. Why the fuck would they do
Behind the scenes.
Yes. The inner workings.
Yeah. So, although I do definitely appreciate this thing, I'm
gonna say
I want to dedicate that episode. I'm not sure. We dedicated one to Sam Croft, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So he's the only one that we haven't dedicated to. And I was going to ask Jimmy Olback if he wanted another one dedicated to him, and I never did. Probably get on that.
Yeah, since he...
Can you ask him?
I can ask him.
While we figure out this shit? Okay. well, thanks for watching behind the scenes, guys. And I know there's a lot of parts that are like cut off, you know, and the best way to do that is go on to libsyn.com, search for our podcast, and just listen to it online.
Yeah,
or subscribe via iTunes.
It's amazingly smoother process.
Yeah, and you know, we do appreciate you guys watching our hackneyed videos, though. So we'll see you guys later.